دوستان عزیز درود بر شما و میریم سراغ Developmental Problems. Communication and language developments are جای خالی skills. خب skills رو میبینین جای خالی پشتش یه adjective، یعنی یه چیزی نیاز داره که اینو توصیف کنه. خب key skills یه آپشن خوب میتونه باشه. key skill حالا اینجا اسمشو نذاشتم. کی فاکتور هم یادتون باشه زیاد میاد، یعنی یک فاکتور کلیدی، اینم یعنی یک مهارت کلیدی، پس یادتون باشه. For young children's growth and learning، برای رشد بچه ها و آموزششون. However, some children may struggle or جای خالی behind. قسمت بعدی اینجا هستش. من behind رو میبینم قبلش یه چیزی، اینجا struggle هستش، یه فعل هستش، پس اینجا هم باید یک حالت فعلی داشته باشه. lag behind میتونه باشه. میبینم اینجا fall behind. pull behind نمیشه. چرا pull behind نمیشه؟ شما الان فرض کن یه ماشین خریدی، پشتش یه ماشین دیگر رو میخوای بکشی. اوکی، یه حالت تریدی هستی، چی میگن؟ یعنی کسی که کارهای پلامینگ و نجاری و اینجور کارا رو انجام میده بهش میگن تریدی. حالا میخوای یه ابزار آلات تو روی ماشین دیگه گذاشتی، یه تریلر اصطلاحا میگن، میخوای اونو بکشی، به اون میگن پول بیهایند، یعنی از جلو باید اونو بکشی اینطوری. اوکی، خب حالا لگ بیهایند ما داریم، فال بیهایند هم داریم، جفتشون میشه اینجا. لگ رو میبینیم. اوکی. In developing these skills، برای توسعه دادن این مهارت ها develop skills رو زیاد میبینین. Families with concerns should seek intervention. خیلی مهمه. میگه خانواده هایی که این نگرانی دارند باید یه اینتروین، یعنی چی؟ مداخله کردن. سیک اینترونشن یعنی یه کسی رو بیارن مداخله کنه، یعنی خودمونی، اما نمیتونن بگن اینتروین. اینتروین یعنی خودشون دخالت کنن. خب اگه خودشون بلد بودن که کار انجام میدادن، پس باید یه نفر رو بیارن که دخالت کنه. اون میشه سیک اینترونشن، یعنی جستجو کنن برای اینترونشن. as soon as possible، هر چه سریعتر. as soon as possible و ASAP هم نشون میدن. A حرف اولشه، S هم اینجا AP. Early intervention can جای خالی big difference. difference رو میبینم یاد اینم فعل نداره، can هستش، باید فعل ساده بیاد. make a big difference، پس اینم میشه make. میگه اون مداخله های زود اولیه خیلی تفاوت زیادی ایجاد میکنه در کمک کردن به بچه ها. جای خالی their difficulties، مشکلاتشون رو چیکار کنن؟ اینجا خیلی مهمه، ببینیم کدوم میشه. overcome کنن. overcome difficulties هم بازم یه چیز مهمه که باید یادمون باشد. اینو اینجا می نویسم. overcome difficulties، این هم یادمون میمونه. and achieve their full potential، و برسن به پتانسیل کاملشون. حالا میریم به عدم گوش میدیم. من سوالا رو یه سری کات کردم، فقط صحبت های اونو گذاشتم. موفق باشید.
So your question about lag and what lag behind means, and can we use another word there? I think lag usually means to trail behind or to delay something in some way. The reason why pull really doesn't work with behind to form that verb group, we might call it, pull doesn't work because pull implies that you're in front of something. So if you were pulling something behind you, you'd be like pulling it forward like a trailer or something that you're kind of carrying behind you. Maybe you're dragging something behind you. It would imply a slightly different situation here. Here we're talking about the children, and the children here they're kind of behind an assumed normal pattern of growth. So we're not talking about what the children are dragging or carrying, we're talking about them themselves. So that's why lag works there and pull doesn't. Fall behind may struggle or fall behind in developing these skills could also work. So it's kind of falling behind is gradually losing pace with something. I think you would need to change, probably need to change the rest of the sentence a bit more to use others. So you could talk about some children may struggle or may develop more slowly.
May develop more slowly if you want
Yeah.
to change the whole thing. That's correct.
Yeah. So like if we want to keep the word behind, we really need lag or fall. But if we want to change some of the other elements in that part of the sentence, we could probably use others. We could talk about they may struggle or develop at a slower pace. That would be another one as well. I think the implication here is that they're still developing their skills, but it's happening more slowly. I guess we wouldn't want to use a word like stop developing these skills because human beings, it would be very unusual for them to entirely stop developing. Maybe if you trap them in a cupboard or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So to seek is to search for something. In this case,
Seek intervention. Okay.
we're searching for an intervention because we can't make it ourselves. So the families aren't experts. They don't know how to help children who are struggling with these developmental problems. So they're searching for someone else to intervene or to make a difference. So that's why they've chosen to use the verb seek with the nominalization intervention rather than to use the verb intervene, because that would mean that the families were the ones making the intervention. The families were intervening, which wouldn't quite be right unless those families were able to make a difference. If they were able to make a difference, then this situation wouldn't be what it is.
So
Yeah, so they're looking for an expert in child development or language development to get advice from. So I'm worried that my child is not talking and they're already 4 years old. I go and I talk to a teacher, I talk to a psychologist, I talk to maybe an occupational therapist, someone with expertise in child development who can intervene and help me. So that's why they're looking for intervention. They're not looking for someone to kind of get involved in their business. It's more to give them advice on how to help their child develop.
that's
So we can't use devote. Devote, you always need to have that object. It's transitive. So you devote something to something. So I devote myself to my studies. I devote, so I think devote is almost always transitive. And I don't think then we could devote a difference. It doesn't work in usage because it means to set something apart or to give it special attention, or to yeah, so those sorts of things. So what we're usually doing is we're devoting something to something else. We would need to say early intervention can help families to devote more time to their children or more effective attention to their children, something like that. We would need a different structure to use the verb devote here. Whereas make, because of this is a, I guess it's a typical phrase that goes together, to make a difference.
make a
Can make a
difference.
difference. Yeah, so make a difference. It usually means to change something in some way that has significance. And in this case, saying make a big difference is saying it's going to have a larger significance or a larger ongoing effect, helping children. So it's kind of a phrase that's used in this way. You would never devote a difference. I think a difference can form the object for devote.
Devote, yeah.
And they're talking about sharp or sudden falls in something. You're imagining that someone's plummeted off the edge of a cliff.
Okay.
So what I think the difference here might be is that you might have an operating profit might be something like a continuous calculation of how much money is being made, whereas you might have other calculations that are made after the fact. So in this year, how much profit did we make? So that might be profit from the perspective of taxation. That's what I think the difference might be. Like, this is what they're working with. They're working on this number. They're assuming that this number is the current number, but it might change. And I think that's connected to the idea that it's a quarterly number. It's only for 3 months of a year, whereas they don't really know how much money they have made or will make until after the whole cycle is complete. But I imagine an economist could also point out what operating profit means, or maybe even a business person, that it means something particular in those fields.